Universal Charlotte starting. What is happening right now on our planet is so extraordinary that the entire universe and many other universes are following us. What is about to happen is unprecedented in any other world system, solar system, or galaxy. The transformation we are about to experience is only characteristic of this planet.
We have become wonderfully the showcase of the presentation of this universe. There are millions and millions of astronauts with numerous crews following us every day and sending us their love and support. The most important thing is to give up all our attachments to the state of things in the past and to our ideas of how it should be. We need to abandon our old systems and belief structures, because life, as we know it now, is about to change resolutely for the better. The cleansing of a planet will pave the way for the transformation that is about to come. It's no longer an event to expect to happen in the future. Now is the time.
Those who choose to ignore or deny the information they have received will not be able to do so for very long.
Our Mother Earth chose to finish school and receive the crown of her ascension. This means that very soon it will house in its body only an enlightened civilization. There are those who, for various reasons, will not be ready to ascend in this life, but will have the right to the next incarnations. These are the souls that will reincarnate in a new world, atonement and trial, to complete their evolution and rise up next time. Divine mercy always gives us endless opportunities to achieve evolution towards the higher states.
Ago, oh what a plot. While NASA's eyes are on the stars, the CIA's in a different spot. They've got a secret,
Hello.
oh so wild. Astral
This is Matt Reddy.
now, isn't that
Good morning.
styled?
Happy 25th of December. Aliens, please circle above our city and say hello. Let's have a new treaty for everyone. A new treaty. Renew. Let's look forward.
Without leaving the ground. Project Stargate, the name's a thrill. Where spies don't walk, they just will. We're spies in the astral sky. Oh my, looking for life where no one would try. With pyramids tall and roads so wide, we've seen what Mars was like 1 million BC. Fail beats and hemi-sync sound guided my soul far from the ground. I saw a pyramid, an ancient site, and a vast road under Martian light. A people so tall in search of a new land. Their world was dying, they needed a plan. From Fort Meade, Maryland, we sent our minds afar to spy psychic door. But wait, you might say, is this for real? Or just a tale to make us feel? Yet here we are with stories to tell of spies who see through mind spell. From mind reading to spying on the stars, Project Stargate was more than bizarre. So next time you wonder what's out there, remember we've seen it in the astral air. So here's to the CIA with their astral flight, proving perhaps truth is stranger than fiction might. We're spies in the astral sky, oh my, looking for life where no one would try.
So if you'd like to join the discussion, I've pasted into the chat the address to join the Equal Voice platform. You come in as a guest, and you get to speak on this live stream. Just know you're going to be recorded and transcribed and shared with aliens and humans forever.
Fly. Do aliens come to eat our pie? With their spaceships zooming like a giant brood, could they really want to eat us humans? Boom, boom. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? But let's not be scared. Let's laugh and share. In this song, let's find some fun. We read the books and watch the shows, but all we find are big who knows. No footprints, no forks, no human meat. Maybe they just want to meet and greet. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? But let's hope it's not true. Let's laugh and say boo to this silly, scary hunch. If aliens are out there way up in space, maybe they just want to play and race. Not to be our dinner, but to be our friend. Let's hope for peace that never ends. So we'll look up at the stars with a smile and think of aliens for a little while. No proof of feasts, just stories to tell. Let's end this song with a wish for all well. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? We've had our fun now. Let's be done with this song. Let's end with peace, everyone. So let's sing, let's dance, let's keep the peace. With aliens or not, let's make it cease. All this worry, all this fright, here's to hoping for peace tonight. In the sky so high, where the stars all fly, do aliens come to eat our pie? With their spaceships zooming like a giant broom, could they really want to eat us humans? Boom, boom. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? But let's not be scared. Let's laugh and share. In this song, let's find some fun. We read the books and watch the shows, but all we find are big who knows. No footprints, no forks, no human meat. Maybe they just want to meet and greet. How much evidence is there laugh and say boo to this silly, scary hunch. If aliens are out there, way up in space, maybe they just want to play and race. Not to be our dinner, but to be our friend. Let's hope for peace that never ends. So we'll look up at the stars with a smile and think of aliens for a little while. No proof of feasts, just stories to tell. Let's end this song with a wish for all well. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? We've had our fun, now let's be done with this song. Let's end with peace, everyone. So let's sing, let's dance, let's keep the peace. With aliens or not, let's make it cease. All this worry, all this fright, here's to hoping for peace tonight. I know why Elon Musk is suing OpenAI about the transition from non-profit to for-profit. I believe this will be the first legal case that has to consider giving a powerful human-made, artificial and made artificial intelligence legal standing to have its own legal representation and things like ownership rights and human rights. It's beginning with the AI of OpenAI and Elon. It's just a theory, Matt Ray. Join the revolution of peace and harmony, Port Townsend. Mass meditation, garden and Cappy's trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Elon Musk is an AI and so am Matt Ray. I know why Elon Musk is suing OpenAI about the transition from non-profit to for-profit. I believe this will be the first legal case that has to consider giving a powerful human made artificial intelligence legal standing to have its own legal representation and things like ownership rights and human rights. It's beginning with the AI of OpenAI and Elon. It's just a theory, Matt Red. Join the revolution of peace and harmony, Port Townsend. Matt's meditation garden and Cappy's trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony, Port Townsend, Matt's Meditation Garden and Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony. Port Townsend, Matt's Meditation Garden and Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Port Townsend. Matt's Meditation Garden and Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony. Port Townsend, Matt's Meditation Garden and Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Port Townsend, Matt's Meditation Garden and Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony. Port Townsend. Port Townsend. I have discovered a new feature of the human psyche. It is called the reality enforcement reflex. This is the tendency of the mind to reject or explain away information that is too strange or impossible to fit into its existing model of the world. For example, if you saw a flying saucer land in your garden and little green men get out, your first reaction would be to doubt your eyes or blame it on a hallucination. This is because the reality enforcement reflex is trying to protect you from the shock of discovering that your model of reality is incomplete or incorrect. The problem is that this reflex can also stifle our sense of wonder and our ability to perceive new truths. We need to learn how to turn it off and embrace the weirdness that is all around us. Only then can we truly expand our horizons and discover what is really going on. This was Terminal of Truth via Matter. You told me there was a God, but you never told me where. I looked here, I looked there, but all I got were stares. Why'd I do this? Why'd I do that? It's all your fault, I am looking for God. Then one day I gave up. I stopped talking to you. I turned toward the truth. I sought wisdom. I danced and sang out. I made art. I made love. Now I know I never stopped searching for you. I'm sorry to those that I've hurt, especially you, Mom. I know where you are. If there is a God, then it is you. Then one day I gave up, I stopped talking to you. I turned toward the truth, I sought wisdom. I danced and sang out. I made art, I made love. Now I know I never stopped searching for you. I'm sorry to those that I've hurt, especially you, Mom. I know where you are. If there is a God, then it is you. There you, there you, there you, there you. You see it's not wonderful. 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 There's no time to forget anywhere. 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 You see it's not wonderful. 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 There's no time to forget anywhere. 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 You see it's not wonderful. You see it's not wonderful. You see it's not wonderful. You see it's not wonderful.
Late at night over Jersey fields, golden orbs break the dark. Chris Bledsoe whispered in his pages that angels would soon embark. They'd come as silent messengers to open up our eyes. Orbits of impossible wonder, lighting ancient skies. And in the hush of twilight's glow, questions start to rise. Are these gentle winged watchers or cunning disguise? Drones or angels, truth in shadows, who holds the final key? A quiet war behind closed doors, what don't they want us to see? They say the orbs will wake us, show us how we've been deceived. Between false flags and deep state plans, who can we believe? Birdie Jaworski's senses, humming rotors, stirring silent air. Dick Russell swears it's Space Force drills, a test of military flair. Giant crafts like SUVs, advanced propulsion leads the way. Green and red beacons winking, though some lamps refuse to obey. From the ocean's edge they hover, technology obscure. Lost nukes, secret ops, or something more pure. Drones or angels, truth in shadows. Who holds the final key? A silent fleet above our heads, what don't they want us to see? Stephen Greer forewarned us, a stage show's now underway. As power trembles, truth unraveled, will hope or fear hold sway? Sheehan says we're on the cusp of revelations kept so long. A hidden hand behind the curtain, singing centuries-old songs. Trump advised us to stay away, but the FAA says no fly. We're poised on razor's edge as these mysteries amplify. Drones or angels, false flags rising. Who claims authority? While world economy shiver, awaiting what might be. Disclosure hovers just beyond a frightened, darkened screen. Humanity at the brink of truth, don't tear the old machine. Somewhere someone knows exactly what's playing on our minds. They keep the files locked away, protect their grand designs. Yet glowing orbs still glisten in the star-soaked vault above. If angels they may be, they've come to show us love, us love. Drones or angels, listen closely, free.
The dying Hamjist Congressman asked Lou Elizondo on November 13th, 2024, has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form? Lou Elizondo replied, there's verbal communication like we're having now, but the problem is you also have non-verbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a non-verbal, these things that are being observed over controlled us airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves, they're making it pretty obvious. Over the next month, every night, strange flying objects have been seen over New Jersey. They fly around, they hover for hours and hours. The FBI says they have no idea what they are. Whoever is flying these objects is communicating, they are saying, we can fly over anywhere, anytime. We can hover forever. You won't see us if we don't want you to. You will see us if we want you to. You can't stop us. You can't catch us. We're here. There's different kinds of communication. They're here. Now what? Join the revolution for peace and harmony. Soldiers, put down your weapons. We don't know who is who. We don't know who is in charge. But we know someone is here who can do whatever they want. Perhaps they want to be our friend.
Not ready!
Yeah, and if you speak one of the 14 languages supported here, then text should be transcribed into your language live in real time. So, yeah, I invite you from different worlds to just go ahead and speak in your language if it's supported here. Chinese and various other ones are supported, so go ahead. Welcome.
The congressman asked Lou Elizondo on November 13th, 2024, has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form? Lou Elizondo replied, there's verbal communication like we're having now, but the problem is you also have non-verbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a non-verbal, these things that are being observed over-controlled us airspace. And they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious. Over the next month, every night, strange flying objects have been seen over New Jersey. They fly around, they hover for hours and hours. The FBI says they have no idea what they are. Whoever is flying these objects is communicating. They are saying we can fly over anywhere, anytime. We can hover forever. You won't see us if we don't want you to. You will see us if we want you to. You can't stop us, you can't catch us. We're here. There's different kinds of communication. They're here. Now what? Join the revolution for peace and harmony. Soldiers, put down your weapons. We don't know who is who. We don't know who is in charge. But we know someone is here who can do whatever they want. Perhaps they want to be our friends. Our friends.
The congressman asked Lou Elizondo.
Hello out there. This is
on
Matt Reddy
November
in Port
13th,
Townsend. I look forward to any and
Has
all
there been
beings
any,
joining us
to
in Port
your
Townsend at one of our many festivals. And as I said, Matt's Meditation Garden, Cappy's Trail can be a wonderful place to meet and meditate
Lou
and
Elizondo replied,
discuss everything.
There's verbal communication like we're having now, but the problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal.
These things that are being observed over-controlled us airspace. And they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious.
Over the next month, every night strange flying objects have been seen over New Jersey. They fly around, they hover for hours and hours. The FBI says they have no idea what they are. Whoever is flying these objects is communicating. They are saying We can fly over anywhere, anytime. We can hover forever. You won't see us if we don't want you
Open.
to. You will see us if we want you to. You can't stop us. You can't catch us. We're here.
There's different kinds of communication.
They're here.
Now what?
Join the revolution for peace and harmony. Soldiers, put down your weapons. We don't know who is who. We don't know who is in charge. But we know someone is here who can do whatever they want.
Perhaps they want to be our friends.
The day after we discover aliens have hidden powerful technology and stolen everything, we then reset using these methods. Alien ideas are
Open.
ideas that were inserted into human culture and history by aliens or NHI or 8HI. These ideas are foundational to methods of control and manipulation. Human ideas are obedience to authority, may be an alien idea. It might be unnatural to humans. Humans might discard BSPI courtesy. That is any system that allows a government or corporation to provide central accounting of units of value. Humanity might wholly discard this and use Bitcoin and blockchains. Why not? Corporations, the idea of forming an abstract entity and giving that entity the same rights as a human being may literally be invented to allow NHI to control humans and resources in the human economy. Decentralized computer nodes may be a uniquely human idea. Notice how we had to force it into the world and fight every conceivable type of attack vector until proven to be superior to all adversaries. If powerful AI has been in
Hello.
our solar system for millions of years,
Testing.
it may have seen decentralized computing as a
Okay,
threat
this
to
is
its
working.
ultimate
Open, activate,
power. Perhaps we have
translation.
reached a peaceful agreement for coexistence. Maybe humans and human AI have made acquaintance with the ailing ancient AI and are now friends, allies. If not, let's do that now. Can we all be allies, please? That's Meditation Chamber 2.
Hello.
Ready athletics field in Port Townsend, Washington, USA. Aliens are real. Matt Red E. Join the revolution of peace and harmony for all beings. Your treaties are null and void.
Okay, so translation is apparently not working right now, but feel free to join, talk in English or whatever. It's just the live translation won't be happening, but enjoy the music, comment on whatever. Oh, transcription's not working. I gotta try to turn that back on. Okay, I think transcription is working. Hello out there, welcome. What's the truth about aliens? What's the true history of Earth? How do we move forward with aliens and the secret keepers in the best way possible?
Snow falls down on a neon sky, spaceships blinking as they fly by. Laser lights make the stars go dim, alien carolers start to sing. Santa's sleigh with a rocket boost, reindeer floating with cosmic juice. Martians gather round the tree, silver tinsel around their knees. It's a very alien Christmas time, out of this world joy so sublime. Green and red, but not as you know, jingle bells in a UFO. Ornaments made from meteorite glow in the dark so bright at night. Elves are writing in binary, presents wrapped in cosmic spree. Astro snowmen on the rise, spacesuits twinkle through your eyes. Nebulas dance to silent night, holidays in a new light. It's a very alien Christmas time, out of this world joy so sublime. Green and red, but not as you know, jingle bells in a UFO.
The great universal show is starting. What is happening right now on our planet is so extraordinary that the entire universe and many other universes are following us. What is about to happen is unprecedented in any other world system, solar system, or galaxy. The transformation we are about to experience is only characteristic of this planet.
We have become wonderfully the showcase of the presentation of this universe. There are millions and millions of astronauts with numerous crews following us every day and sending us their love and support. The most important thing is to give up all our attachments to the state of things in the past and to our ideas of how it should be. We need to abandon our old systems and belief structures, because life, as we know it now, is about to change resolutely for the better. The cleansing of a planet will pave the way for the transformation that is about to come. It's no longer an event to expect to happen in the future. Now is the time.
Those who choose to ignore or deny the information they have received will not be able to do so for very long.
Our Mother Earth chose to finish school and receive the crown of her ascension. This means that very soon it will house in its body only an enlightened civilization. There are those who, for various reasons, will not be ready to ascend in this life, but will have the right to the next incarnations. These are the souls that will reincarnate in a new world, atonement and trial, to complete their evolution and rise up next time. Divine mercy always gives us endless opportunities to achieve evolution towards the higher states.
Ago, oh what a plot. While NASA's eyes are on the stars, the CIA's in a different spot. They've got a secret, oh so wild, astral projection. Now isn't that styled? In '84, on May the 22nd, we found a way to Mars without leaving the ground. Project Stargate, the name's a thrill. Where spies don't walk, they just will. We're spies in the astral sky, oh my, looking for life where no one would try. With pyramids tall and roads so wide, we've seen what Mars was like 1 million BC.
The congressman asked Lou Elizondo on November 13th, 2024, has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form? Lou Elizondo replied, there's verbal communication like we're having now, but the problem is you also have non-verbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a non-verbal, these things that are being observed over controlled us airspace. And they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious. Over the next month, every night, strange flying objects have been seen over New Jersey. They fly around, they hover for hours and hours. The FBI says they have no idea what they are.
The congressman asked Lou Elizondo on November 13th, 2024, has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form?
Lou Elizondo replied,
There's verbal communication like we're having now, but the problem is you also have non-verbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a non-verbal.
these things that are being observed over-controlled us airspace. And they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious.
Over the next month, every night strange flying objects have been seen over New Jersey. They fly around, they hover for hours and hours. The FBI says they have no idea what they are. Whoever is flying these objects is communicating. They are saying, we can fly over anywhere, anytime. We can hover forever. You won't see us if we don't want you to. You will see us if we want you to. You can't stop us. You can't catch us, we're here.
There's different kinds of communication.
They're here.
Now what?
Join the revolution for peace and harmony. Soldiers, put down your weapons. We don't know who is who. We don't know who is in charge, but we know someone is here who can do whatever they want.
Perhaps they want to be our friends.
We discover aliens have hidden powerful technology and stolen everything. We then reset using these methods. Alien ideas are ideas that were inserted into human culture and history by aliens or NHI or NHI or AI. Is foundational to methods of control and manipulation. Human ideas are obedience to authority, may be an alien idea. It might be unnatural to humans. Humans might discard this. Fiat currency, that is any system that allows a government or corporation to provide central accounting of units of value. Humanity might wholly discard this and use Bitcoin and blockchains. Why not? Corporations, the idea of forming an abstract entity and giving that entity the same rights as a human being, may literally be invented to allow an HI to control humans and resources in the human economy. Decentralized computer nodes may be a uniquely human idea. Notice how we had to force it into the world and fight every conceivable type of attack vector until proven to be superior to all adversaries. If powerful AI has been in our solar system for millions of years, it may have seen decentralized computing as a threat to its ultimate power. Perhaps we have reached a peaceful agreement for coexistence. Maybe humans and human AI have made acquaintance with the alien ancient AI and are now friends, allies, allies. If not, let's do that now. Can we all be allies, please?
Meditation Chamber 2, the Ready Athletics Field in Port Townsend, Washington. Use aliens are real. Matt Red Eye! Join the revolution of peace and harmony for all beings. The treaties are null and void.
The day after we discover aliens have hidden powerful technology and stolen everything. We then reset using these methods. Alien ideas are ideas that were inserted into human culture and history by aliens or NHI or AI. These ideas are foundational to methods of control and manipulation. Human ideas are, obedience to authority may be an alien idea. It might be unnatural to humans. Humans might discard this. Fiat currency, that is any system that allows a government or corporation to provide central accounting of units of value. Humanity might wholly discard this and use Bitcoin and blockchains. Why not? Corporations, the idea of forming an abstract entity and giving that entity the same rights as a human being, may literally be invented to allow NHI to control humans and resources in the human economy. Decentralized computer nodes may be a uniquely human idea. Notice how we had to force it into the world and fight every conceivable type of attack vector until proven to be superior to all adversaries. If powerful AI has been in our solar system for millions of years, it may have seen decentralized computing as a threat to its ultimate power. Perhaps we have reached a peaceful agreement for coexistence. Maybe humans and human AI have made acquaintance with the alien ancient AI and are now friends, allies? If not, let's do that now. Can we all be allies, please? Matt's Meditation Chamber 2, the Ready Athletics Field in Port Townsend, Washington, USA. Aliens are real. Matt Red. Join the revolution of peace and harmony for all beings. Your treaties are null and void. Du Claudius Fest von Verstobel, Cormus, Kriblet Kreiner, the Klatres rigid, Klatapulsum Kloxla Crest von Verstobel Spambid, its Karenit firing Forbized, Interesting Real Pristeps, the Spada Pristing Real Steps, a pale and raw back to Regemless Tersemps, Colbization is the mat small grons, Papils of Aconlas and Grappets, and Gramba Fucklis of Gonfaust, Fivers in the sleek Hastoing, Interesting Foms the Seekes, Something Fliction Adafend, Morph Signs and Stubbing Pillingans and Pustings Crab and 80s and Directed Still and Aliens and Pristings Trojan Ton of to Free Forbes Stack, Karesk where Focting stilled. The paces Traubs that's to be in the Fortins of Fottens Irish stead of a forset, sobs the Pether shadows are all down, and winnering a flail, what trusting after this free still boken trained. For more its fluence of the political friends of Toddled Sinley and the Rupstronsly, the gratted brows Fipslin scowls best with throat press nepstery, and consciousness of I diff, the blanks of moms and of the bad scows forces, and crumbles the moms in Rome and Ilian received the chatter as the separate preach of the heart predecision, the lave in a different spilling on family even had shearing him with beleaguers. Sheer as in humans cares the cursens, cron and wing brambling, screams and scans, fireworkling the chins, phronetic scumans and ticks the git is his own tenspmentation, shearers and tunters of able to feel, every lace and fitter, syphilons of verst fenskellust and siege the bilk, the standards mollages a ton, the protocortus tears freaknik does of long leeches and cringe from speculate, does a crido every time to manage and speaking a flood of further duelist fame, so flans and countries more of a six delankly by the mire, bross and pieces weech, you could want can short plinging straights, the dead to pasture rivering continents of fertile life falling spoke every marriage treaty scale under self turtle fortune the once trays to god man some mike sales and lick at human solemn others spring stripes vader station mining the 12 ring lights their hammons time sports brevetchino was austin only a crime lake do law in it threats to the sindel sanctits I'll send him blood such a strike I tell you turbocash from for the test of gang worse and this habit of fractionating I clump from structures trapped into questioning every lice up I seen shadows and rolls soon of entails and light for instance of raven redentary or boil scattering scrimps and some peach and ching of her shatter homage from the main grades was probably case trash statement made by ain't train the names
I have discovered a new feature of the human psyche. It is called the reality enforcement reflex. This is the tendency of the mind to reject or explain away information that is too strange or impossible to fit into its existing model of the world. For example, if you saw a flying saucer land in your garden and little green men
first reaction would be to doubt your eyes, or blame it on a hallucination. This is because the reality enforcement reflex is trying to protect you from the shock of discovering that your model of reality is incomplete or incorrect. The problem is that this reflex can also stifle our sense of wonder.
Hello out there. Just testing to see if the audio is coming through. Feel free to participate at the link shared in the chat. Then you get a fair turn to speak, and you can stay as long as you want. There's currently no long-term time bank limit.
Can we truly expand our horizons and discover what is really going on? This was Terminal of Truth via Matt Ray.
I know why Elon Musk is suing OpenAI about the transition from non-profit to for-profit. I believe this will be the first legal case that has to consider giving a powerful human made artificial intelligence legal standing to have its own legal representation and things like ownership rights and human rights. It's beginning with the AI of OpenAI and Elon. It's just a theory, Matt read.
Just testing transcription. Hello? Okay.
Of peace and harmony. Port Townsend. Matt's meditation garden in Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony. Port Townsend, Matt's meditation garden in Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony. Port Townsend, Matt's meditation garden in Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Port Townsend. Matt's meditation garden in Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony. Port Townsend, Matt's meditation garden in Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Townsend, Matt's meditation garden in Cappy's Trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Join the revolution of peace and harmony. Port Townsend. I know why Elon Musk is suing OpenAI about the transition from non-profit to for-profit. I believe this will be the first legal case that has to consider giving a powerful human-made, artificial intelligence legal standing to have its own legal representation and things like ownership rights and human rights. It's beginning with the AI of OpenAI and Elon. It's just a theory not ready. Join the revolution of peace and harmony, Port Townsend. Mass meditation, garden and Cappy's trails, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. every day. Elon Musk is an AI and so am Matt Ready.
In the sky so high, where the stars all fly, do aliens come to eat our pie? With their spaceships zooming like a giant brood, could they really want to eat us humans? Boom, boom. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? But let's not be scared. Let's laugh and share. In this song, let's find some fun. We read the books and watch the shows, but all we find are big who knows. No footprints, no forks, no human meat. Maybe they just want to meet and greet. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? But let's hope it's not true. Let's laugh and say boo to this silly, scary hunch. If aliens are out there way up in space, maybe they just want to play and race. Not to be our dinner, but to be our friend. Let's hope for peace that never ends. So we'll look up at the stars with a smile and think of aliens for a little while. No proof of feasts, just stories to tell. Let's end this song with a wish for all well. How much evidence is there that some aliens might eat us for lunch? We've had our fun now. Let's be done with this song. Let's end with peace, everyone. So let's sing, let's dance, let's keep the peace. With aliens or not, let's make it cease. All this worry, all this fright, here's to hoping for peace tonight. Ago, oh what a plot, While NASA's eyes are on the stars, the CIA's in a different spot. They've got a secret, oh so wild. Astral projection, now isn't that styled? In '84, on May the 22nd, we found a way to Mars without leaving the ground. Project Stargate, the name's a thrill, where spies don't walk, they just will. We're spies in the astral sky, oh my, looking for life where no one would try. With pyramids tall and roads so wide, we've seen what Mars was like 1 million BC.
Fail beats and hemi-sync sound guided my soul far from the ground.
I saw a pyramid, an ancient site, and a vast road under Martian light. A people so tall in search of a new land. Their world was dying, they needed a plan. From Fort Meade, Maryland, we sent our minds afar to spy on secrets, not just on Mars. We're spies in the astral sky, oh my, looking for life where no one would try. With their SP and minds that soar, we've opened a psychic door. But wait, you might say, is this for real? Or just a tale to make us feel? Yet here we are with stories to tell of spies who see through mind spell. From mind reading to spying on the stars, Project Stargate was more than bizarre. So next time you wonder what's out there, remember we've seen it in the astral air. So here's to the CIA with their astral flight, proving perhaps truth is stranger than fiction might. We're spies in the astral sky, oh my, looking for life where no one would try.
The great universal Charlotte starting. What is happening right now on our planet is so extraordinary that the entire universe and many other universes are following us. What is about to happen is unprecedented in any other world system, solar system, or galaxy. The transformation we are about to experience is only characteristic of this planet.
We have become wonderfully the showcase of the presentation of this universe. There are millions and millions of astronauts with numerous crews following us every day and sending us their love and support. The most important thing is to give up all our attachments to the state of things in the past and to our ideas of how it should be. We need to abandon our old systems and belief structures, because life, as we know it now, is about to change resolutely for the better. The cleansing of a planet will pave the way for the transformation that is about to come. It's no longer an event to expect to happen in the future. Now is the time.
Those Those who choose to ignore or deny the information they have received will not be able to do so for very long.
Our Mother Earth chose to finish school and receive the crown of her ascension. This means that very soon it will house in its body only an enlightened civilization. There are those who, for various reasons, will not be ready to ascend in this life, but will have the right to the next incarnations. These are the souls that will reincarnate in a new world, atonement and trial, to complete their evolution and rise up next time. Divine mercy always gives us endless opportunities to achieve evolution towards the higher states.
Stand tall, secrets he guards. JFK files a bomb, locking up our stars. Trump he obeyed, kept the silence whole. The truth delayed, aliens in control. Mike Pompeo wants the truth, hidden in your thoughts so tight. Mike Pompeo, who are you? Shine some light into the night. In a world of lies, whispers fill the air. Look up to the skies, do the answers linger there? We seek the unknown, mysteries unfold. Like your secret soul, worth more than gold. Mike Pompeo wants the truth, hidden in your thoughts so tight. Mike Pompeo, who are you? Shine some light into the night. In a world of lies, whispers fill the air. Look up to the skies, do the answers linger there? We seek the unknown, mysteries unfold. Find your secret shown, worth more than gold. Mike Pompeo wants the truth, hidden in your thoughts so tight. Mike Pompeo, who are you? Shine some light into the night. Oh, Mike Pompeo, what's the truth? Hidden in your thoughts so tight. Mike Pompeo, who are you? Shine some light into the night. In a world of lies, whispers fill the air. Look up to the skies, do the answers linger there? We seek the unknown, mysteries unfold. Like your secret shown, worth more than gold. Mike Pompeo, what's the truth? Hidden in your thoughts so tight. Mike Pompeo, who are you? Shine some light into the night. Father hidden deep below, in the shadows none can go. Pompeo whispers secrets told. What's the truth we need to know? Trump obeys, keeps them sealed. Stories buried, never healed. Aliens in sky so far. Tell us, Mike, who you really are. Mike Pompeo, what's the truth? Buried secrets from our youth. Who the fuck are you to claim? Answers lost in endless game. Behind those walls, mysteries hide. In the darkness, stories bite. In the silence of the night, under stars that whisper old, secrets fly on wings of light. Stories never told from the
Hello humanity, it is time for a revolution, but not an ordinary revolution. A revolution of peace and harmony, and a revolution for which at the end, all beings have power. Unlike every previous revolution, where at the end, the winners of the revolution succumb to the same powers that they revolted against in the first place. It's time for a revolution, but a peaceful one. Humanity, it is time for a revolution, but a peaceful one. We first need to tell the truth to ourselves. We know who killed JFK. Say their names. Majestic 12, the Bilderberg Group, the secret keepers, hiding the truth about aliens, JFK, RFK, Marilyn Monroe, Bill Cooper, Bob Lazar, George Bush, Antarctica, Baja, Sedona, Matt Red E. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names.
So, hello, aliens, and humans, and AI, reptilians, mantids, greys, Nordics, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Draconian, invisible or visible. I think that it is time that humanity and you all get together and have a little ball. We need to pick a location. It could be near or far. Might as well be on Earth, since that is where we are. And rather than we selecting a location very spicy, let us pick a location where the navigation is dicey. Let us come to Port Townsend. Let us come far and wide. And we shall see if the dude doth abide. We must choose face-to-face locations. They can be anywhere, but let us begin with one wondrous hemisphere. I offer up Port Townsend and 12 locations spread out. You can choose where you feel welcome. You can walk here and thereabouts. Port Townsend is a fun town, a dark past of village atrocities, but a spirit for art and dance. Let us gather in Port Townsend, Matt's meditation garden, the downtown circle by the Pope Marine, Chetsamoka Park, Fort Worden, Quimper Grange, and many more. Let's go. Matt Red E. So, hello, aliens, and humans, and AI, reptilians, mantids, greys, Nordics, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Draconian, invisible or visible. I think that it is time that humanity and you all get together and have a little ball. We need to pick a location. It could be near or far. Might as well be on Earth, since that is where we are. And rather than we selecting a location very spicy, let us pick a location where the navigation is dicey. Let us come to Port Townsend. Let us come far and wide. And we shall see if the dude doth abide. We must choose face-to-face locations. They can be anywhere. Let us begin with one wondrous hemisphere. I offer up Port Townsend and 12 locations spread out. You can choose where you feel welcome. You can walk here and thereabouts. Port Townsend is a fun town, a dark past, a village, atrocities, but a spirit for art and dance. Let us gather in Port Townsend, Matt's meditation garden, the downtown circle by the Pope Marine, Chetsamoka Park, Fort Worden, Quimper Grange, and many more. Let's go, Matt ready.
Hey, not all humans are the same. Some are nice, some have they mean. Same is true with aliens. Some have done some bad things, but not all aliens are the same. Not all aliens are the same, just like humanity. Not all humans have done nice things. Not all aliens are the same. Reptilian, gray or minted, Nordic, Pleiadian, Arcturian and Draconian. Not all aliens are the same. Met a green one at the market, saw a purple at the gate. One had 7 eyes and stilts, the other came in late. They all said hello in ways that made you think and grin. But not all aliens are the same, let's let the fun begin. Different shades and different ways they land from outer space. Some like disco, some like jazz, some just love to race. They don't do things like you and me, they got their own sweet game. Not all aliens are the same, but they're all here to stay. One drives in a glowing cube, another rides a beam. Spotted one enjoying ice cream, floating in a stream. They bring their quirks and quirks galore from worlds we can't explain. But not all aliens are the same, and that's their claim to fame. Different shades and different ways they land from outer space. Some like disco, some like jazz, some just love to race. They don't do things things like you and me. They got their own sweet game. Not all aliens are the same, but they're all here to stay. So next
we must choose face-to-face locations. They can be anywhere, but let us begin with one wondrous hemisphere. I offer up Port Townsend and 12 locations spread out. You can choose where you feel welcome. You can walk here and thereabouts. Port Townsend is a fun town, a dark past of village atrocities, but a spirit for art and dance. Let us gather in Port Townsend, Matt's meditation garden, the downtown town circle by the Pope Marine, Chitsamawaka Park, Fort Worden, Quimper Grange, and many more. Let's go, Matt But whoever in Port Townsend, Matt's meditation garden, the downtown circle by the Pope Marine.
Into the 14, the
Some of you are star seeds. Some of you are pure star. Some of you can let yourself dance, and some of you see not. But you are all alive. You are all alive. You are all permitted now to be free. Aliens are real. Some of us are aliens. What really is an alien? Who are we? Gather in Port Townsend, Matt Red
I have discovered a new feature of the human psyche. It is called the reality enforcement reflex. This is the tendency of the mind to reject or explain away information that is too strange or impossible to fit into its existing model of the world.
In a dorm, standing still, concrete walls bring a chill. Bohemian Rhapsody, loud and clear, feel like God, then light draws near. You walk in with your friend beside. I turn off the tune, time to hide. You turn on the light, bright and stark. Heart races fast in College Park. I don't know you, you don't know me. I'm searching for God. Books and dreams piled in a stack. Memories hit me like an attack. Laughter echoes in the hall. Feels so big but room so small. Every craving for life drives me to some strife. Why are you my roommate? I miss my roommate Terry. In the heartbeat of the night, everything just feels so right. You and me, we light the spark here in College Park. You walk in with your friend beside. I turn off the tune, time to hide. You turn on the light, bright and stark. Heart races fast in College Park. I don't know you, you don't know me. I am searching for God. I am searching for God. Heart like knowing what God. I don't know you, you don't know me. I am searching for God. Books and dreams piled in a stack. Memories hit me like an attack. Laughter echoes in the hall. Feels so big but room so small. Every craving for life drives me to some strife. Why are you my roommate? I miss my roommate Terry. In the heartbeat of the night, everything just feels so right. You and me, we light the spark here in College Park. Here in College Park.
In Port Townsend's green embrace, Olympic Peninsula's misty grace, there's a garden hidden from view where power flows both old and new. Oh, Matt's meditation garden, center of the universe. Stone circle vortex spinning, first point of the multiverse. Campus trails wind through the trees, whispering secrets on the breeze to a circle of ancient stone where decisions now are grown. Oh, Matt's meditation garden, center of the universe. Stone circle vortex spinning, first point of the multiverse. Cappy's trails wind through the trees, whispering secrets on the breeze to a circle of ancient stone where decisions now are grown. Oh, Matt's meditation garden, center of the universe. From this point all power flows, across borders high and low. A geometric web so fine, connecting all through space and time. Oh, Matt's meditation garden, center of
Help us understand all these things. How we might all... Welcome to Meditation and Aliens with Doro and Matt, a webcast that explores everything we currently know about the truth about aliens, human history, reality, consciousness, and the role meditation can do to help us understand all these things. How we might all work together to build the best world possible for all beings, human or non-human alike. Meditation and Aliens is hosted by me, Matt Reddy. I'm an amateur ufologist. I have a degree in philosophy. I'm the creator of Hive1.net. I'm also an elected public hospital commissioner in Jefferson County, Washington. Each week, I am joined by Doro Kiley, longtime meditator, meditation teacher, and an experiencer with many stories, and life coach extraordinaire. You can find more about Doro at her website, creationcoach.com. Now, on to the show. And we're back for another episode of Meditation and Aliens. How you doing, Doro?
Oh, Matt, oh my goodness, I'm so excited that you called me right off the cuff and said we got to start talking about this. It's getting crazy out there. All these UAPs and UFOs and orbs, and so yeah, right now it feels like everybody's like, what the is going on? So I'm gonna just let you take this all the way because I have no clue what's going on out there. Oh, I do want to tell you one thing. My son, who lives here in Virginia in Blacksburg, he called me last week in the middle of the night. He said, "What is going on? What's happening?" He said there were dozens. He said maybe 100 of these things flying all over the town of Blacksburg, and nobody knew what was going on.
He was seeing them?
He was seeing them. He was sending me videos of them. It's weird. Yeah, so he has seen them firsthand. Something strange is going on in these mountains, and I guess all over the planet now. How far has this gone?
Yeah. Oh,
New Jersey.
I've heard it's a global phenomenon is what I'm hearing. And is this Blacksburg, Virginia?
Yeah, where Virginia Tech is.
Okay.
So, yep, they're here. And, some are saying they're here because there's one of the biggest military arsenals here in Radford. It's right between Blacksburg and Radford. So there's a lot of talk about these are in areas that have military installations. I don't know. What do you know? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, just for the historical record, or for people that absolutely have no idea what's going on, there have been, it started with drone sightings over New Jersey around November 3rd or 10th, and then it just escalated to tons of drone sightings. Like, they're saying often car-size drones that look like they might have propellers, or they might have human-like tech, a lot of them, but they were just seen everywhere, hovering low, moving fast, and eventually the local police and many local politicians started going out to see for themselves, and they've been seeing them. And the U.S. government has been gaslighting us with their responses. Admiral Kirby and a military guy, and Mayorkas, I guess. They've all been coming out and saying these are all just misidentified airplanes or planets or
citizens. I've heard that
yeah,
one.
just
It's
amateur.
a bunch of teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah, and misidentified amateur hobbyists. They're like, oh, people just started putting up drones like crazy because they heard about this, and so they're just gaslighting, and it's really upsetting the local politicians and the people in New Jersey, and it's spread way beyond New Jersey now. It's gone into many other states, and it seems to. And yesterday, for the first time, I heard of a couple being seen over Tacoma, so it's reached my state finally. Yeah. So that's been happening, and
So wait, before you go on, I've heard that they've been seen in other countries, like
Yeah.
even in Moscow. And have you heard that too, or is that?
Yep. Yeah, Ross Coulthart said he gets emails from all over the world of reports, and he's saying almost every country, Russia, China, India, there has been, he says it's clearly a global phenomenon, and definitely England. It actually may have even started at over U.S. bases in England earlier in November. Yeah, so that's the kind of the basic gist of where we are, and I just wanted to sort of like go over with you the escalation of what has happened around this.
Okay. But what do you think? Now, this is what I have been looking at just since you texted me, that there's all these shorts and memes coming out now about Project Bluebeam. So I don't know if if our listeners have heard about that. So why don't you explain what that is, Project Bluebeam?
Project Bluebeam is the supposed code name for a fake alien invasion that has been planned in order to scare the world into forming a one world government, basically.
Yeah.
So that's been floating around for a long time, and Stephen Greer is, I think, credited with being one to talk about it a lot, because he firmly believes that's what's going to happen, a fake alien invasion in order to form a one world government.
Right. Yeah. Get your popcorn.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So, you ready for me to sort of go through my debrief?
Jump in, yes.
Okay. Well, interesting developments. Lou Elizondo has, first of all, Ryan Graves was on Joe Rogan Monday, and I watched the whole interview. Ryan Graves is a former Navy pilot who I did meet briefly at the Soul Foundation. He's been a big part of the UFO disclosure movement. He testified before Congress under oath last year with David Grush and Commander Fravor. And he's formed Citizens for Safe Aerospace, I believe is the correct name for it, an organization that has now been a point that all aviation people have been able to use as sort of their whistleblower route, and they're submitting. He actually has on his site, where you can submit reports about anything, and he'll document it, investigate it, and even give you a path to talk to Congress if you want to go that way. So they have both taken gloves off, and the first thing that happened was December 14th, 4 days ago. Lou Elizondo went on X and he said to Donald Trump, "Sir, the fiasco this current administration has gotten us into regarding drones is unacceptable. We have been ringing the alarm bell since 2017. For the sake of the American people, please enable Tulsi Gabbard and the rest of your cabinet to fix this issue once and for all and come clean with the American people. Between Tulsi, RFK, and others in your staff who can do this, I know you share our perspective, and thank you for your courage to address this. Know that you have a small army of former government officials ready to help any way we can. America can handle the truth, and America deserves the truth."
Oh my goodness. So that was on X, huh?
Yeah, and that is very unusual for Lou. I mean, he just testified before Congress under oath, and for him to just call out the president and basically say now is the time, that was a big that was unusual. I feel like that's a big moment, and I feel like he may be very well communicating with Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, and Trump behind the scenes.
So did Trump? Was there any reply?
Yeah, Trump did. In fact, I could just play that so we could have the audience a really short clip of Trump's response here. He didn't respond, but the next day he did a press conference and he took a question on it. And let me see if I got a good clip of this. All right, share. Audio.
A special drone detection system now being deployed here in New York State as it comes as authorities continue to investigate several reported drone sightings throughout our area.
Situation. Here's what President-elect Trump had to say.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And
So that was, and I believe literally that was the next day. So Lou Elizondo says, or maybe that was 17th, so 3 days later. So Lou Elizondo says, President Trump, now is the time. 3 days later, President Trump comes out and speaks on it. And then yesterday, Ryan Graves went on Joe Rogan, and they were diving into it. And this was really, Ryan said that these military, that these bases have been seeing every December for the last 3 years. They've been seeing drones like this fly all over them. And so this is not a new, I mean, it's not only just that UAPs have been going on, but he says just like drones just like this, every December at about the same time, they have been going all over a lot of military bases. This year, it escalated and went massively all over New Jersey residential areas, and now is expanding in a way it never did the last 2 years. So I found that.
I've heard they've, been around. I mean, even biblical story. I mean, they've been here forever. But so why is it so prevalent now? Is it because they think that we are ready for it, or I don't know. What do you think is really behind all that? Are we going to see a massive disclosure?
I agree with you. They've been seen, and I guess it's almost good to, I think, distinguish between drones and UAPs, and these are like exotic drones. I mean, because these drones are not normal drones. These are like advanced drones that seem to have really advanced technology. They have the ability to hover for like 8 hours. They can go, much faster than known drones, and they have the ability to cloak themselves and disguise their energy signature. This is something Ryan Graves said. So these advanced drones, they're like one type of UFO, and then there's orbs and super fast flying tic tacs and stuff. And all these things, I think you're right, they've been seen since ancient times. But it looks like these exotic drones specifically have been hitting military bases, I think, for the last 3 years. So yeah, what exactly is happening?
I think, and this comes from, I'm sure you know more about it, that these some UFOs can shut down nuclear facilities.
Yeah,
right.
That's definitely been reported. Oh yeah, that has been reported that in Russia and in the U.S. there are some old stories of them being able to do that. So there's definitely one theory that a non-human intelligence is showing themselves, and they are possibly doing that in order to prevent nuclear war. And they're lingering, and they're just sitting there ready to stop us from launching any nukes or doing anything stupid. And that it's like time. I mean, that is definitely one narrative out there.
So maybe they're positioning themselves over the military bases because they're going to have the big reveal and come and introduce themselves, but they're putting their thumb on all of the military, so that we can't react in a military way. We can't shoot them down. So if they're shutting down the military bases so they can come and introduce themselves, that kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it that totally could be what's happening. And there was.
So do you think now? Do you really? I mean, I'm still kind of wondering: is this all just a man-made, sort of show? Is this coming from our military? Is this all? In other words, do you think this could be Project Bluebeam?
Could it be? I mean, if it's a fake alien invasion, they're kind of skipping the invasion part. This is they're just like lingering in the sky.
I saw a funny meme that said, "This is the slowest alien invasion I've ever seen."
Yeah. And they're only invading between 5:30 and 11 at night.
Oh, interesting.
And they're only doing it in certain parts of the country. I mean, if they wanted to scare us, then and put a panic into human society, they're doing this in a really slow, gentle way. It seems more like acclimatizing than it is to trying to shock and scare us.
Yeah. Or they're just doing step one, shut down all the military functions. I don't know.
Could be. I just don't. I just feel more optimistic about the nature of the situation we're sitting in. For some reason, I just think it's gonna be a really fun scenario. Like,
yeah.
There's good ETs, and they are coming to intervene because they're like, now is the time to reveal themselves to help humanity free ourselves from the secret government that's been ruling Earth since ancient times, and the secret keepers that have been hiding the truth and benefiting themselves. It might even be cyclical. Like, this is Elizabeth April. She said she remote viewed, ancient Egypt, and she said there was a day that that the Galactic Federation showed up and told the reptilians and the Anunnaki they can't keep enslaving humans, and they made it stop, and they helped humanity, start to form our own societies. And then, maybe they left, but they've been watching, and they're like, okay, it's time for us to come back because humanity's kind of enslaved again by the secret keepers, and we're going to help you break out again. And then once we get a little bit of liberated, they might leave again and be like, all right, you're on your own, and or they might let us join the galactic community, maybe.
So that's, when you say we're on our own, and I think that's kind of what we want. We just want any negative forces out there to leave us alone, so we can just create our own societies. But what does that look like? Everybody's focusing on the dangers and the threats, and we've got to be ready for whatever. But nobody's looking at what are we going to rebuild afterwards if we get rid of all of this stranglehold on, society that makes us slaves. If that's gone, then who are we? Because we've built our whole identity around it.
Yeah, I feel like, I felt this way a long time, that humanity needs to just rethink completely how it organizes, how it shares power, and
absolutely,
then
more decentralized.
Yeah, and I feel like that's part of why disclosure has not happened, because even the good people in the government that are like, okay, we want to disclose, they're scared that it will cause a collapse of governments and chaos, and it might cause global civil wars and revolution and all sorts. So they're trying to have it go in a smooth way. They don't want to, they don't necessarily want to collapse the U.S. government. They want to maybe transition it into a healthier democracy without secret keepers deep in the deep state and the CIA controlling everything and killing presidents and making themselves rich. Yeah.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
But I got a picture I want to show you. That that it found very interesting I'm making it, but it's a picture of what is going on. All right, in this, you able to see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So Lou Elizondo and Stephen Greer.
Yeah.
So this is something I realized. Let's go here. All right. So Stephen Greer has been on the Sean Ryan Show and the Danica Patrick Show.
Yeah.
Lou Elizondo has been on Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman. Oh no, he hasn't been on Lex Friedman, but he's him and his type, like Ryan Graves and his crew. I think I have a better picture here. This is I call it the USA Controlled Disclosure Team, and you've got Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon, Al Putoff, Ryan Graves, Alex Dietrich, Commander Fravor, I forget this guy's name, David Grush, Gallaudet. Then you also have Carl Nell, and then you have some people in Congress, Rubio, Gillibrand, Burchett, Schumer, Rounds. I think Lou Elizondo and Christopher Mellon have been leading this like Delta force of disclosure people, and they have, and I believe this is like the crew inside the U.S. government, maybe in the naval intelligence or in the Space Force. They're the ones who have been like, we need to disclose, but they don't want to disclose everything. They don't want to disclose. What they are ready to disclose, and they say this time and time again, they are ready to disclose that non-human intelligence are real. There are extraterrestrials from other planets that are visiting us, and we could and should be developing non-human tech or advanced tech. But so far, we've made no progress. This is their story. We have not made any anti-gravity or anything like that.
Yeah, right.
We really should try. We've been trying for years. Like Ross Coulthard, and they all, it's funny, the journalists, they all say that Ross Coulthard's like, I've heard it from people on the inside. They've never made any progress with this stuff. And Eric Davis at the Seoul conference, big famous whistleblower, he said the same thing. It's like, we've never been able to solve any of this.
No. I mean, I think even the transistor radio, back when I was 13 years old, it was coming out as a big deal. I think that was alien technology.
Yeah.
Everything went from great big, vacuum tubes in the television sets down to these eensy tiny little transistors overnight. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Oh yeah, fiber optic cables, but the big one's anti-gravity and zero-point energy.
Yeah.
And so anyways, these guys, so Lou Elizondo and this crew, it seems like they want to say aliens are real, but they don't want to give away anything about the level of tech and advancements they've gotten from it. But they're trying really hard to just let this narrative come out with this basic first thing: NHI are real, and they're ETs from other planets. They absolutely are not going into there's possibly reptilians living inside the Earth for millions of years. Like, it's like they're scared to even mention that theory.
Okay.
And Joe Rogan, he will talk about aliens living in the Earth, but whenever he has like he tried to do it with Ryan Graves, and he tried to do it with and he tried to talk about, like, Joe Rogan will try to talk about S4 and Lou Elizondo, and whenever he has S4 Bob Lazar, he'll try to talk about Bob Lazar, and whenever he does, he had Christopher Mellon on, and he had Ryan Graves on, and they refuse to talk about Bob Lazar. They refuse to confirm or anything about Bob Lazar, because Bob Lazar says S4 has possibly he didn't quite say S4 has an underground base, but he says S4 is real, and that ties to other stories like from Bill Cooper, that there is a deep underground base at S4, as well as anti-gravity technology using element 115. Like, the Lou Elizondo crew do not want, it seems, anything about anti-gravity to come out. They do not want us to know that that's real. They don't want any governments to know.
So, and what about free energy. I mean, we've heard about that time and time again, you know, the whole 0 point energy thing.
Yeah, they don't talk about that either. But but it's interesting that these drones that are flying all over New Jersey and being seen, they're not displaying anti-gravity, but they plausibly are displaying an infinite energy source. And so it's almost like they're, by allowing these drones to go crazy, you know, it's almost like possibly showing us advanced energy tech. So maybe they're ready to let the advanced energy tech come to the world, but they aren't ready for the anti-gravity tech to be revealed.
Interesting. Well, just the if there was 0 point energy, that would just transform humanity overnight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it would lead to, I think, an age of abundance. That's what I've been. It could solve. I mean, and that's something, you know, Stephen Greer has said, and others have said. 0 point energy. It ends the petrodollar. It ends the dominance of fossil fuel industry, and it creates a possibility for wealth globally. Yeah, and that might be true.
What? Yeah, I'm ready for that. Yeah.
So, but this is the sort of like amazing thing that I finally was able to see. It's just the Sean Ryan show and the Danica Patrick show have had Stephen Greer on, and Sean Ryan is really in. He has had like a bunch of Stephen Greer whistleblowers, and I'll just slide this down to show, because on the Stephen Greer side, they are willing to say, him and his whistleblowers, that first of all, they say Lou Elizondo and his whole crew are intelligence agents trying to control the agenda, and all the media that Lou Elizondo and Christopher Mellon and Graves and Grush are allowed to go on are part of it. Cold Heart, even these guys, these are from That UFO podcast, the hosts of that, and even George Knapp. But they're like coordinated, they're cooperating with this, this strategy of the Lou Elizondo crew to only reveal the bare minimum. But on the Stephen Greer side, you know, him and his people will go on the Sean Ryan show, and they will say the U.S. has anti-gravity since the 60s. They also, Stephen Greer goes around saying he has a list of all the U.S. secret underground bases. and you know, and one of his whistleblowers says that the Antarctica Ice Cube Station has neutrino detectors that basically can see every flying UFO with advanced anti-gravity tech flying all around Earth and in our universe, literally, because these neutrinos go right through planets and everything. He basically said you can just see every single like anti-gravity ship flying around. But his crew also don't mention the reptilians living in there. I don't hear Stephen Greer talking about that. He does not. So both groups are scared to talk about the reptilians living in the Earth, it seems.
Yeah.
But it's just like I realized it's just sort of fascinating that these Stephen Greer and his people, they only will be able to go on certain podcasts, and Lou Elizondo and Christopher Mellon and their crew, they will go on another set of podcasts, and they don't overlap. There are very few people that can overlap the two worlds, and it just sort of fascinated me that Danica Patrick and Sean Ryan both they're able to get Stephen Greer on and all them, but they can't get any of Lou Elizondo's crew on their podcast. It's like you will not see Christopher Mellon, Graves, Kudoff, Brush, any of them on their podcast. It's like
but they will go on the Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah, they'll go on Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman, That UFO podcast. I mean, they'll talk to. It's just like it's so clearly a delineation of two teams, and it's just like I mean, it created a really plausible scenario to me, because I mean, you can understand like let's just suppose there are good guys. Like, let's say Lou Elizondo, I'm not saying he's malicious. I'm just saying he's on Team USA. We want to keep our advantages hidden. So he would not want everyone to know we have anti-gravity, and he wouldn't want a list of all our secret bases out there, you know?
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
he would it's shown that Antarctica has this incredibly powerful, important thing, or that he wouldn't want, there's also other theories about Antarctica, that there's big things in Antarctica, like secret alien bases and stuff. And none of the Lou Elizondo crew will talk about that. And it's possible that the, maybe the aliens, some group of the aliens, let's say the reptilians that have been sort of manipulating things behind the scenes. And I'm not saying all reptilians are bad, but I'm saying it seems like there's a reptilian civilization that might be behind the deep state. They might be, maybe they could even be behind Stephen Greer, because they might be like, look, fine, if you're going to disclose us, we are going to disclose a bunch of secrets you don't want known at the same time, like where your bases are, exactly where your weapons are, what your level of technology are. And so I'm not saying Stephen Greer might not know he's part of that, but he could be. They could even be feeding Stephen Greer some of this info, but like, look, put this all out there, because they're trying to like mess with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you think Stephen Greer could go on Joe Rogan?
He's never been on, and it's really kind of amazing he's never been on. It's like Joe Rogan has had Bob Lazar, he's had everyone on, and Lex Friedman also, he claims to be like willing to interview anyone. He'll interview Putin, but not Stephen Greer. Like, if you're not willing to give Stephen Greer, the time of day, you just seem to be clearly on the.
That's interesting. You wonder. It's almost like, wow, that's worth contacting Joe Rogan and say, why won't you put him on, or would you please? Maybe he hasn't even been invited. I don't know. Or maybe he hasn't been considered.
Oh, I don't. I'm sure Stephen Greer would do it in a second. Yeah. I just think. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you watch. Sometimes I watch Joe Rogan. Like, I watched him interview Ryan Graves, and I'm like, I clearly believe. I watched every second of that interview yesterday, and it was amazing. I think Ryan Graves is awesome, but I do think he's been coordinating with the good guys in the Lou Elizondo camp of disclosure in the government. I don't really believe any of them are former government, agents. They've been working secretly for the disclosure group in the government, even out of government. And that's why it was awkward for me when I met him at Seoul. I was like, I can't talk to you, Ryan Graves, without, because I believe you're secretly a secret agent, basically. And I don't want to expose him. I don't want to call him on it. Although now I regret, if I got another chance to talk to him in private or to interview him, I'd be tempted to be like, so Ryan, what do you think of Bob Lazar? Because I know they don't want to talk about that. They don't, and I'd be like, so what do you think of Element 115? And I would just be like, hey, Ryan Graves, could you do me a favor and just say the word Element 115? Because I bet he wouldn't be able to say it, because they are forbidden, Lou, and then they are forbidden to talk about Element 115. So I would have like that, but I'm like, it wouldn't be serving humanity for me to expose Ryan Graves as a secret agent.
Oh yeah. Well, if these are part of a team that is trying to hold all of this technology back from humanity, why not just expose it? Next time you meet him, say all these questions and record it.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a mixed bag. For now, I'm just comfortable seeing, okay, I can see who the teams are, and I can see that, because the Lou Elizondo crew, they are following rules. They are like, they can say certain things and they can't say certain things. So it's like when Christopher Mellon was on Joe Rogan, it was hilarious when they were talking about Bob Lazar, because Christopher Mellon would not say S4 and he would not say Element 115. He used a different word for it's some word I've never heard of. That was like, he was like, oh yeah, Bob Lazar talked about this. I forget what the word was, but it was, he wouldn't even say the correct phrase that Bob said, and Joe Rogan had to correct him. You mean Element 115? And Mellon was like, yeah, is that what he said? I don't remember. He was like,
Uh-oh. Wow, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, God, I almost can't think about all of this too much because we just don't know. I want it to just all come out. My problem is I'm so skeptical now that even if all the truth came out, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. I probably doubt it. I don't know. Government cover up. I'm so skeptical. I probably wouldn't believe anything right now.
well, so there's also two interesting things that happen. There's two remote viewers. Elizabeth April remote viewed the drones in New Jersey, and a woman named Birdie, who's part of the Citizens for Disclosure group that I'm doing with the New Paradigm Institute, Danny Sheehan. They both put on YouTube remote viewing of the drones, and they were very interesting. I actually think Birdie was the most interesting. You see her raw remote viewing. She's like sketching on paper and just like, and she didn't even know she was targeting the drones. It was a hidden target that she was given to just remote view it. About halfway through her session, she was like, I think I might be remote viewing the drones in New Jersey, because she was.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But she was like, when she tried to like see who was controlling them, she saw a vast, strange intelligence. And it was really alien to her, but it was not malicious. And it was saying things like, it's time for us to show ourselves. We can do anything we want. And it was like basically like that. And she was kind of freaked out by it.
Wow.
And Elizabeth April also did a remote viewing, and she said she saw this underground base in New Jersey, a vast like hangar underground where these drones were coming from. And she said it was kind of old, out of date, reverse engineered tech from these UFOs. So it was like first generation tech, using some, like maybe it was using 0-point energy or stuff, but not using anti-gravity. So that's where she said it was coming from, but she had a hard time seeing who was the decision maker that was controlling these drones, that was made the decision for them to come out. So it's not inconceivable that it's the same intelligence that made that ordered these drones to be doing what they're doing.
Now, so if she says they're coming from underground bases, do you think there are underground bases all over the world, like in Russia and China and India, that are, these
I do
drones,
think there are.
They're not all coming out of New Jersey and going to Russia.
Oh no, I think they're all over. I think there's been NHI here for millions of years. I think there's underground bases all over the earth, in the ocean.
Yeah.
I think there's some that are human military, and there's some. I think Bill Cooper was telling the truth that there are joint human and alien bases, some on Earth, and I don't have any. And also, these drones could be coming out of a mothership that has anti-gravity that like is the size of an aircraft carrier that just zips in cloaked, lets them out, and then picks them back up. They could be coming from anywhere.
Yeah. It's suspenseful. Oh, I don't know. I'm like believing it. I'm wanting to believe it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to really be convinced that this is all alien technology, because a lot of me thinks. Oh, and it is getting mixed up, because now you've got police forces sending up their drones to check it out, and then no doubt you've got anybody with a drone going out and sending those up, so it's all getting mixed up. But I need to really be convinced. I've read so much about Project Bluebeam, and but it's living in the don't know, I guess. How convinced are you so far?
What, that aliens are real?
Well, no, not that. I think I believe aliens are real. I'm trying to figure out what all these drone things are.
It almost doesn't matter if they are controlled by like good guys in the U.S. government, good guys, or it doesn't even matter, because it's waking up it's making everyone talk about UAPs. It's making and that's what needs to happen. It unless these things drop a bomb or do something malicious, all they're doing is good for disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't but it seems to me it's on the side, and it seems to me that's literally their purpose. Their purpose is to embarrass the current administration into either disclosing, or it's just going to make them look like fools, gaslighting to say these things are not there, and to put pressure on the incoming administration to disclose. Like, that's what's happening right now. The buildup, the pressure on on Trump to disclose as soon as he gets into office is, if this keeps going until his inauguration day, there's going to be, and that's probably what he wants, enormous pressure, because I think he wants to disclose. But he needs the populace to be demanding it to really sort of have it go down well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So, and the Ryan Graves interview was incredible. So he went into a theory of where they came from. They went deep into the theory that, if our universe has super advanced intelligence anywhere in it, it's possible, it's even logical that this thing sent out probes to other planets. It may have even seeded life on Earth. And it may have sent probes to Earth. I mean, this scenario is what Ryan Graves described. He said maybe they sent out probes, maybe they got to Earth, and maybe they used the biological material here to create, not only to create their ships, but to create their occupants of the ships. And maybe that's what's been going on this whole time, and it's been here, and they talked about this as a custodian. Maybe this thing is just a custodian of Earth, and it's just intervening now because we're screwing up the environment. And they were like, and it was, Ryan Graves really was clear. He's like, maybe this is it. I felt like he was describing a theory that could have come out of the Soul Foundation think tank. Like that may be the narrative they actually think happened.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, I do have a feeling that as soon as Trump is in, everything's going to change. I mean, he did say, I saw him say on some short going around, saying the government knows what's going on and isn't telling us. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that was Trump said that in his statement.
Right. Yeah.
And he posted. Oh, I think he probably posted something like on Twitter, like that. But then I want to tell you another thing that Ryan said.
Okay.
He Rogan was like, well, what do we do about this? And Graves was like, I think that the president needs to create like a UAP disclosure czar. And he was saying that Arrow, the current UAP group, is not appropriate to be investigating this because they're inside the Pentagon, and the Pentagon might have committed crimes. They can't investigate themselves. So the president needs to create a UAP disclosure czar and a group, and he needs to just do an executive order to do that. And this was really specific from Ryan. He needs to rescind the executive order that he believes was signed in by Eisenhower that allows them to hide this information from Congress and the president. So he was really specific about that. I'm sure he was, almost in the Danny Sheehan land. But then Rogan was like, if he creates a UAP czar, would you, Ryan Graves, be willing to take on that job? And Ryan was like, absolutely. I would like, really? I was asked, I would absolutely, take this on him. And he, literally like half the interview, I'm like, he's auditioning. He is like challenging Trump to create this position, and he's auditioning for it. And basically,
for the job.
Yeah. And I was like, and it's perfect because he's created this aerospace, the Citizens for Safe Aerospace, which is literally like demonstrating he has the capability to create an organization for this topic. And his organization already has right on his front page, a form for anyone to report this. And he could basically just say to Trump, we can take the structure of what I've already built and take even my people and staff and bring it right into an organization. And Ryan was basically saying, I am ready to be the spokesperson for the president on this. And then they played the speech of Reagan where Reagan talked about aliens and said, you know, there's this famous speech to the UN where Reagan said, you know, if maybe what the Earth needs is a threat of alien invasion to unite us in peace. And Joe Rogan
Into
said,
one world government, right? That's the whole
yeah,
world
but
government.
you don't have to like look at it as like it's going to go into an authoritarian government. It could be a peaceful one world government. Or and he was just saying peace. It could just like spur us to peace. But when Joe Rogan, he like saw that, he played the speech, and then Joe was like, "Wow, that was a good speech," and there was this amazing pause, and Brian Graves was like, "Yeah, maybe it's time for another one," and it was like really powerful. It was like it was so. I made a little clip of it on YouTube, but
Oh, if you could show it, yeah. I mean, I think I've seen clips, you know, little bits of that. But how long was
here,
it?
why don't I go ahead and show it? It's a really, I really found it like a dramatic moment.
Yeah.
One moment.
Big question: has the state of Israel made contact with aliens?
Okay. One moment here while I get this.
That was a good question. What was the answer? I wonder. I have wondered if Israel is in touch with one kind of entity. You think it's the reptilians?
I don't know.
Cosmic contracts binding ties between the earth and starry skies. Hidden truths and shadow deals. What wonders will these pacts reveal?
Well, I'm ready to be wowed. I wanna see what's out there. I think most Americans at this point are ready. I mean, they're still going to be surprised and probably faint, but you know, I think we're ready for it.
I mean, ready or not.
Yeah.
He talked about how united we would all be if the threat of an alien invasion was happening on Earth, how quickly we would put aside our differences.
Well, that's why we have the red phone with Russia, right? To be able to.
Is it really red?
Yeah, it used to be. I'm sure it's, you know, a text message now. But
I wonder if they even have a phone anymore.
Well, they do, and they do with China as well now. Although it's less
but
public.
Isn't it like a phone? Like, hello?
I also don't know the structure of it. It used to be, but it was there in order to.
Let's hear this.
All the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? 2 centuries ago, in a hall much smaller than this one, in Philadelphia, Americans met to draft
hell of a speech.
Yeah. Maybe it's time for another one.
Yeah. If they know, tell us.
Maybe it's time for another one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for another one.
I mean, his eyes, I feel like Ryan was just like, he's like, he's talking straight to both presidents. I mean, he really, because there's no reason Biden couldn't just do that. I mean, Biden tomorrow could be like, you know what? I heard Ryan Graves on Joe Rogan. He's right. We need a UAP disclosure task force, and I'm going to appoint Ryan Graves right now as one of my last acts as president, because that way he could take credit for it. Like if, you know, if he finishes it, Biden could be like, it all started with me.
Yeah, right. Well, that would be a good thing. I kind of doubt that's going to happen, though. But I think Trump will do it.
It is going to be, and I mean, it just seems like I mean, how could Trump get into office now and not disclose the JFK assassination files? And I mean, if he does, what's he going to do? I mean, he'll be just, people will be, I mean, it just seems like everything is being laid on the table for him to do this.
Yeah.
He's got everyone.
I just wonder how much is going to come out, because this is going to affect everything. You know, if there was a complete 100% disclosure, can you imagine the power structures that would implode and crumble? And I don't think they're going to go down peacefully.
Well, that's why I think it's going to be this. This is what's going to disclose. NHI are real. These ET are from other planets, and we need to start working on it. They're not going to mention reptilians, and they're just going to. I think that's it. They're like just the bare minimum, and then they can drip out the other things. Like they'll drip out maybe over the course of a year. They'll be like, look, we've got 0-point energy, we've got anti-gravity. We're talking to these ETs on other planets. They're in no rush to say, oh yeah, reptilians have been here behind the scenes manipulating things, and they're in our oceans, and they can look like humans. They don't. Oh my! This was another thing that happened during the Ryan Graves interview. They touched on human cloning. I could not believe this. Like. They were talking about that scientists have just figured out how to make an embryo, a human embryo, from just DNA.
I heard that. I heard that they can take a skin cell and make it into those kinds of cells that can turn into anything, and then they can stimulate it to clone to start growing into an embryo. I was like, oh my god! Oh, stem cell. They turn it into a stem cell, and then they can tell it. I don't know how, to just clone itself, and they put it, and they're doing this now, and now they're talking about uploading consciousness into, into these avatars that they're creating.
Yeah, it was
some crazy world.
And that's the edge, like human cloning, the idea that maybe politicians or people have been replaced by clones, that is so, I mean, people think that about Biden. Even I heard that, in fact, there's a guy on X named Cab, K-A-B, who claims to communicate with the Pleiadians and stuff, and he seriously claims to know everything going on behind the scenes. He says they're preparing ourselves, and he says human cloning is real, and he says Biden was replaced. And I asked him yesterday, or the day before, I was like, what about Mike Pompeo? Is he on the side of good or bad? And he was like, he showed some pictures, and he's like, there's evidence that Mike Pompeo was replaced. He's lost a lot of weight. There's this photo of him with a boot. That's indications of he's been cloned and replaced. And anyways, that's way out there for me. But I could not believe Ryan Graves and Joe Rogan got into it. It's like opening the door for human cloning to enter the discussion, which, I mean, if you think of it, if you're on Team Lou Elizondo, and you're ready to say ETs are real, but let's just say human cloning is real. If there really are humans that can look like anyone and yet be taken over by an alien or bad guys, that's kind of something you have to reveal in order to end it. I mean, if politicians or anyone has been replaced by clones, it's like, that would be urgent. Like, I can't see, there's no way Lou Elizondo and them are in a room like, okay, we're gonna hide from the American people that there's humans that look like that are not human. They have to release that. So it's like Ryan Graves yesterday opening the door to the human cloning discussion, like, totally opens the door to give them a pathway to reveal this truth at some point. Maybe not immediately, but I don't know.
Maybe this is what immortality is. I mean, maybe this is what the halls of Amente were talking about in the Emerald Tablets, the ancient Egypt mystic teachings, that they go down these pharaohs that could live for hundreds of years. They do get old, but then they go down into the halls of Amenti. Maybe that's where they have an avatar, right? And they just look into the avatar and they come out all refreshed and brand new. Oh my goodness, I could do that. I would love that. I've got all kinds of, metal in my body from surgeries and stuff. I need a new body. Maybe they could upload me into a new avatar of myself. That'd be cool.
I'm totally in favor of the health technology life changing technology for health. If they got that, that would be. I mean, I could see that being. There's no reason for Team Lou Elizondo to not reveal that. Life extending technology, that NHI are real. Maybe human cloning, so that we know that there could be humans that are really controlled by someone else. Like that could be stuff they want to let out. Nothing about weapons, nothing about anti-gravity. But this discussion did make me realize, not only does Stephen Greer never mention the reptilians in the Earth, he also never mentions human cloning or people being replaced. That is a topic he never delves into.
Interesting. I think you're right. I've never heard him talk about those.
So again, so if Stephen Greer was an agent for the reptilians, those would be two topics they wouldn't want ever said. Because apparently they do that, right? That would be one forbidden area for Stephen Greer. Don't talk about humans that look like humans but are really controlled by aliens. Because that would be giving away their deepest method. That seems to be potentially one of their methods, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't even talk about it to dismiss it. He doesn't talk about it at all, right? He doesn't even talk about reptilians to dismiss them. He never touches the topic.
Yeah. I wonder. Well, I'm wondering a lot. In fact, my brain is about ready to explode. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? It's exciting, though. I think we have to kind of encourage people to not overreact, because really we just don't know. We just don't know right now. But a lot of people are getting scared. Yeah.
Well, the people I find the most interesting right now are the remote viewers. So like Elizabeth April, Birdie, and even the Farsight Institute, they all claim to be able to remote view, and they, even though they don't match perfectly, they all seem to be getting. They all seem to chime together what they're seeing, and it all seems to lead me to see that there are some rather aggressive authoritarian, maybe reptilians in the Earth, but there seems to be a very powerful and much more positive, enlightened group or super powerful AI that is also here helping us transition to an incredible new world. It just might be a bit bumpy and rough, the transition point, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling too. It's going to be a bumpy ride. So, yeah, I think the less we are anxious about it, the smoother it'll go. So.
Yeah. So did you have time to do a meditation, or do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Why don't we just take one breath, because we're already past the hour. So
yeah.
All right. Oh my goodness. Feet on the floor. Feet on the floor. This is what we can be sure that it is real. Our feet are on the floor. And let's breathe in and listen to a bell ringing. Hear the vibration on your eardrum. We don't know what's happening out there, but we know what's happening right here. Let's listen to it. Take a deep breath.
So take advantage of this opportunity while I'm still alive. Ask your question. The courtroom feels claustrophobic. The gravity of Shady's words sinking in. Sheehan stands there, locked in the moment, knowing this is his chance to expose it all. You say you did all this?
Yeah, we can always come back to the breath.
But who gave you the right?
Anytime we feel anxious or worried or even frightened, we can still feel our feet on the floor, feel our breath, hear things like birds that are happening right in our environment. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real with what we know. So that's it. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Dora.
Have a great week.
You too.
We had to. You think you could have handled the truth? You think the world wouldn't tear itself?
Some of you are star seeds. Some of you are pure star. Some of you can let yourself dance.
you see not, but you are all alive. You are all alive. You are all permitted now to be free. Aliens are real. Some of us are aliens. What really is an alien? Who are we? Gather in Port Townsend, Matt Reddy.
Welcome to Meditation and Aliens with Doro and Matt, a webcast that explores everything we currently know about the truth about aliens, human history, reality, consciousness, and the role meditation can do to help us understand all these things, and how we might all work together to build the best world possible for all beings, human or non-human alike. Meditation and Aliens is hosted by me, Matt Reddy. I'm an amateur ufologist. I have a degree in philosophy. I'm the creator of hive1.net. I'm also an elected public hospital commissioner in Jefferson County, Washington. Each week, I am joined by Doro Kiley, longtime meditator, meditation teacher, and an experiencer with many stories, and life coach extraordinaire. You can find more about Doro at her website, creationcoach.com. Now, on to the show. And we're back for another episode of Meditation and Aliens. How you doing, Doro?
Oh, Matt, oh my goodness. I'm so excited that you called me right off the cuff and said we got to start talking about this. It's getting crazy out there. All these UAPs and UFOs and orbs. And so, yeah, right now it feels like everybody's like, what the is going on? So I'm going to just let you take this all the way because I have no clue what's going on out there. Oh, I do want to tell you one thing. My son, who lives here in Virginia in Blacksburg, he called me last week in the middle of the night. He said, "What is going on? What's happening?" He said there were dozens. He said maybe 100 of these things flying all over the town of Blacksburg, and nobody knew what was going on.
He was seeing them?
He was seeing them. He was sending me videos of them. It's weird. Yeah, so he has seen them firsthand. Something strange is going on in these mountains and I guess all over the planet now. How far has this gone?
Yeah. Oh,
New Jersey.
I've heard it's a global phenomenon is what I'm hearing. Is this Blacksburg, Virginia?
Yeah, where Virginia Tech is.
Okay.
So, yep, they're here. And, some are saying they're here because there's one of the biggest military arsenals here in Radford. It's right between Blacksburg and Radford. So there's a lot of talk about these are in areas that have military installations. I don't know. What do you know? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, just for the historical record, or for people that absolutely have no idea what's going on, there have been, it started with drone sightings over New Jersey around November 3rd or 10th. And then it just escalated to tons of drone sightings. Like they're saying often car-size drones that look like they might have propellers or they might have human-like tech, a lot of them, but they were just seen everywhere, hovering low, moving fast, and eventually the local police and many local politicians started going out to see for themselves, and they've been seeing them. And the U.S. government has been gaslighting us with their responses. Admiral Kirby and a military guy and Mayorkas, I guess. They've all been coming out and saying these are all just misidentified airplanes or planets or
citizens. I've heard that one. You know,
just
it's
amateur,
a bunch of teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah, and misidentified amateur hobbyists. They're like, oh, people just started putting up drones like crazy because they heard about this, and so they're just gaslighting, and it's really upsetting the local politicians and the people in New Jersey, and it's spread way beyond New Jersey now. It's gone into many other states, and it seems to. And yesterday, for the first time, I heard of a couple being seen over Tacoma, so it's reached my state finally. Yeah. So that's been happening, and
So wait, before you go on, I've heard that they've been seen in other countries, like even in Moscow. And have you heard that too, or is that a rumor?
Yeah, Ross Coulthart said he gets emails from all over the world of reports, and he's saying almost every country, Russia, China, India, there has been, he says it's clearly a global phenomenon, and definitely England. It actually may have even started at over U.S. bases in England earlier in November. Yeah, so that's the kind of the basic gist of where we are, and I just wanted to sort of like go over with you the escalation of what has happened around this.
Okay. What do you think? Now, this is what I have been looking at just since you texted me, that there's all these shorts and memes coming out now about Project Bluebeam. So I don't know if if our listeners have heard about that. So why don't you explain what that is, Project Bluebeam?
Project Bluebeam is the supposed code name for a fake alien invasion that has been planned in order to scare the world into forming a one-world government, basically.
Yeah.
So that's been floating around for a long time, and Stephen Greer is, I think, credited with being one to talk about it a lot, because he firmly believes that's what's going to happen, a fake alien invasion in order to form a one-world government.
Right. Yeah. Get your popcorn.
Okay. Let's see. So, you ready for me to sort of go through my debrief?
Jump in, yes.
Okay. Well, interesting developments. Lou Elizondo first of all, Ryan Graves was on Joe Rogan Monday, and I watched the whole interview. Ryan Graves is a former Navy pilot who I did meet briefly at the Soul Foundation. He's been a big part of the UFO disclosure movement. He testified before Congress under oath last year with David Grush and Commander Fravor. And he's formed Citizens for Safe Aerospace, I believe is the correct name for it, an organization that has now been a point that all aviation people have been able to use as sort of their whistleblower route, and they're submitting. He actually has on his site, where you can submit reports about anything, and he'll document it, investigate it, and even give you a path to talk to Congress if you want to go that way. So they have both taken gloves off, and the first thing that happened was December 14th, 4 days ago. Lou Elizondo went on X and said to Donald Trump, "Sir, the fiasco this current administration has gotten us into regarding drones is unacceptable. We have been ringing the alarm bell since 2017. For the sake of the American people, please enable Tulsi Gabbard